Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. Good. All right. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Falcone here, live from Helping Our Music Evolve in East Nashville, Tennessee. And welcome to Falcone Fridays. Today, I got my man Ethan here. What's up, man? Nice to see you. We're going to work on his track Diamonds today. I'll go ahead and play it down and let him kind of tell you guys a little bit about the track as you hear it. So let's take a listen. So tell us a little bit about the track.
All right. So this is a track. We recorded this one, I guess, about 2 years ago now. Studio from Berry Hill, and we did full analog studio tracking in. We had a full band. We had a bass player play live. We ended up going back in and overdubbing. We had the amazing Michael Rhodes playing on it. And but the artist is Isaac Black, really great singer, originally from North Carolina.
You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I tried so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. You fucked my emotions with love and other potions.
Yeah, as it kicks up.
I thought this was real.
So that's the track we're working on today. 5:33. We got an hour. Let's kind of get into it. Really good tracks. These sound amazing. I love when I get stuff that sounds this clean. And the object here is not to screw it up because it already sounds good. So let's see what we can do to maximize the clarity that's already been presented. Yeah? What are we laughing at? Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna turn on my speakers and start bussing stuff. Here we go.
I wanna give it one last try.
Oh,
Baby, you and I.
oh, that's what that was. Excellent.
If I tell you I still love you, will you still love me too? You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I tried so hard.
Cool. So we're working on. I didn't bring my computer today, so we're working on the Mac Mini, and it's not as fast as my computer. So if there's a little lag between things, that is why. So first, I'm going to do some bussing of my drums. I'm going to bus all my kick drums to a mono bus here. And then I'm going to bus out of that into, let me open up this here. And I'm going to send a send from that to another track here. So that would be my parallel track I'm going to set up. And then I should have made one more of these and duplicate that. Too much? Okay. I'll turn me down a little bit. All right. And I'll go ahead and make this input. 3. Out to the main kick bus here, and I will route this to our drum bus. Take these tracks. I'm going to just change all the routing. Here. that process. There, John. For some reason, when you use mono buses and Pro Tools, sometimes I have like this weird delay thing that happens if you use the other side of the bus on a different source. So that's why I always just use, the first, like, so if it's, 27 and 28, I just use 27, and then I go to 29, I skip over. I'm going to make these go out. That's 31. And this. Boy, this is like. All right. Go.
I wanna give it one last try. Baby, you and I. If I tell you I still love you, will you still love me too? You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I tried so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. You fucked my emotions with love and other potions.
So I'm gonna go ahead and check the phase on the. We got 3 different kick drum tracks here, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mute the sub kick because I usually just throw that in there after I get my main kick going. So I'm gonna pop on my speakers.
You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I try so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. I wanna give it one last try. Baby, you and I. If I tell you I still love you, will you still love me too? You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I tried so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. You fucked my emotions with love and other potions. I thought this was real, but you were one to end the deal. You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I try so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end.
Cool. I'm just dialing in. Seems like this beginning kick drum's a little hot here, so I'm gonna clip gain down this a little bit. Kind of get our match our other levels. Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and turn up my buffer size here a little bit because I think we're low. It's probably going to help. Oh, and this is why. Go ahead and turn this down. I don't need, it's probably, they're taking up all our memory here. I was wondering why I was getting so much kick drum. I accidentally busted my snare to my... There we go. Sorry, y'all. I'm fighting my computer right now, so you can see my screen. Everything's going hella slow. So we're just gonna go. We're gonna be a little chill today. No, not in too much of a rush. So. I'm just basically doing how I always do. I start from the bottom, work with my kick and my bass, get a solid foundation, and then work myself up with the chain. I muted the guitars. There's a lot going on in there. So I just kept the keys going as a nice little bed. It kind of has some of that low mid action going on as well, so I can kind of see how that's going to play with the bass. And then, yeah, I'm just going to continue on. I'm going to now dial in my snare drum a little bit, see what we can do here. All right, so now I'm going to bus my overheads here to their own bus. So 33, 34. Oh, wait, so these already have inputs. Perfect. So we're going to go, come on, baby. 1920. Then these are going to go out to here. I'll shift. 16. And then from here, go. Right. That'll be my parallel track if I got. That. Awesome. All right. Come on, baby. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send a bus from my main kick drum track here, and I'm going to make it the sidechain input of this C6 multiband dynamics processor that is on the bass guitar. I'm going to hit it on this floating band here to external, and I'm going to now find the frequency of this kick drum and see if I can get it to make some room.
Review. So that bass sound, so much of it is Michael Rhodes. His fingers are like a natural compressor, just about. It's amazing. Easily one of the best bass players on the planet. But he was tracking straight from a Rupert Neve DI. Was it the R&D? That new one, really killer DI. I say new. I think the thing's been out for like 5 or 6. Still feels new. It's not old Neve, but it's still incredible Neve. But then I had it going into, I believe, a Focusrite ISA preamp. Oh yeah, and then I've got a nice little processing trick on the way in that I like to do that I picked up from Nico Bolas back in the day, where it's kind of like I guess technically like a sidechain compression thing where I cut out everything under 200, hit the 1176 a little bit, and then bring everything back in that shelf under 200. But yeah, so much of it is, I can tell you what all I did on it, but so much of it is Michael Rhodes in his hands.
That being said, I'm going to do a little parallel stuff here. Maybe use a little max bass and see if I can get a little bit of this upper mid stuff happening. Let's see. in the studio, what I'm doing is I put the monitor controller in mono, and I pulled the right patch for the speaker, and I'm only listening through one monitor right now in mono, so I can paint the picture of how everything's sitting together sonically in a mono signal. So it's easier to differentiate between levels if you're really just kind of focused on one speaker. And so my approach is I build it from the bottom and I go up. So now that I kind of have some tones that I like, I can start now adjusting my levels so that with gain structure, I can get it to be maximized as high as it can be, but then balanced at the same time. So that's what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to kind of paint a little better of a picture. So I would like ride that there, but so I'm gonna tame the ride cymbal a little bit with the C6. I think that's all coming from this though, isn't it? Alright, let's go back to that section real quick. Somewhere over in here, let's see. So you can hear now, kind of get everything balanced out a little bit better. You can see that the parallel bass track that I created here brought a lot more clarity into the notes that are being played. So kind of to just show you what I did there, I just kind of dropped the original bass down a little bit, and then I added in some max bass with a frequency point of 256 hertz. Has a slight roll off that drops us down below 128 a little bit, and then I have this decay all the way out, so we're extending past 256 hertz and going up towards 400. That allows it to cut through on the little speakers, but then the original signal can still carry the body and the weight of the guitar, but we get a little more clarity. So I'll show you what that sounds like when I bypass it and then after it. So this is without it. All right, and now I'll play that same section again with it. Without it. With it. So I could probably EQ this a little bit. So it cuts through the track a little bit more, so that's cool. All right, let's see, get this keys back in here. That one. Someone's hungry like me.
Now that chapter's through, so I'm meeting you. Your love is like diamond.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna now bus all my little buses here that I have going into my main bus, and get some stereo processing going on our master bus here. Logan just came in clutch with the little snack bar. Blood sugar was dropping, haven't eaten all day, so came through. So a little trick I like to do is use master buses. Or sorry, master faders, in a different traditional sense. I like to use them. You didn't want to create that for me. Uh, as in basically as trims to groups. I mean, you can do it with VCAs to trim groups, but this more is going to trim what's going into the group and not affect the levels of everything else that's happening down or before the chain. Why do we do that? Well, because I like sometimes when, just like on a console, if you clipping a channel, it sounds cool, right? It has a different type of characters, a little more smack or punch to it, especially when you're clipping it in the analog domain versus the digital domain. So by using all the NLS channels, I'm able to drive those channels and use gain to create a certain effect. So that's why when my Pro Tools fader on my kick drum is peaking, it doesn't really matter because it's not really peaking in the digital domain. It's really peaking in the emulation of the analog domain. And so then when I'm combining those tracks, it's not necessarily summed yet. So because it's in these other buses on my left side. So now that I have bus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 routed to bus 9 and 10, I can now take this 9 and 10 fader, master fader, and trim or add level to the input of this compressor. So all what you really wanted to do, and this I just use gain structure at this point, and I know, like, I mean, even this for me right now is a little low of a threshold. I usually like to get my gain structure up to where I'm getting 1, 2, 3 dB max of gain reduction on my master bus, and I set my threshold around like 10.9 or 10.3, and if I get my gain structure right, I have 1.9 dB of makeup gain. There's a certain sound that happens that I like. So it's all about getting your gain structure right till you can get the gear to react the way you would like to. So there we go. So that's where I wanted it, because on that dynamic part, there was a slap that happened on the kick drum, and that's what I was listening for. Kind of just smooths out the low end. So how I setting this, try to get your gain structure, where your threshold is, or set your threshold to where you get 2, 3 gains, dBs, a gain reduction. Set your makeup gain around 2 dB. Fast release, because you don't want it to hang it on long, and I have a longer attack, 30 milliseconds, so it lets all the transients come through, but then it catches the meat of the signal and then holds onto it there and then turns it up. So because a 40 hertz wave signal is like 25 milliseconds between trough and crest there, so by setting it at 30 millisecond attack time, it allows those low frequencies to come through, but then grabs them a little bit after they fully form, so I can tighten that down and then pull it all the way up. That's where you're getting the roundness from, the kind of the glue, as they call it. So there's different ways to use this thing. Sometimes you'd want to put it down at 10 milliseconds. Because you have maybe it's a more up-tempo song, and you have more sharp transients, and you just need to kind of block those down. So how I like to do it is I like to combine that with the API 2500 on. So I put this on my kick or my drum bus, and you can see here I have a really fast attack, a really small ratio, and a really fast attack time or release time. And that what that does is it says, okay, it's just going to trim, get a really fast attack, and slam down the really, really sharp transients that would, keep you, or you'll get overs, quote, overs with that. So this allows it, and it also kind of has a little kind of sound to it too when it hits it. It's very forgiving, but also has a lot of character. So I use this compressor for more of a fast attack, trimming my transients down just enough, and then I use something like the SSL here to kind of create the glue and get the fatness that I want, and I drive into this thing so that anytime in my mix I can readjust my gain structure to get this to react the right way, so that I can get my level to be as loud as it possibly can before I start to quote unquote master it, which should be around 14 dBFS. I'm pretty consistent at being able to get my gain structure to without any limiter rest on around negative 14 dBFS, which happens to be that Spotify magic signal. So now I don't know. I'm still yet to test this theory because loudness still always wins for some reason. I did it on my own song and another song, but then I listened to it on Spotify. It's like it's not as loud as everyone else's, though it's still at negative 14 dBFS. So it's kind of yeah. Even
some people are some people are putting out masters that are either above or below to take advantage of, all the DSPs are a little bit different. So it's kind of like back in the radio days where, people would compress it to sound like it was going through the old hardware L2, everything at the end of the FM broadcast chain. Kind of the same deal where you do all of that processing getting done again. And I think that's where some of that extra loudness, somebody else's tracks, I've run into that too. You hit the minus 4. I mean, I don't do any mastering. I rely on other engineers, mastering engineers. Been working with Amy over at Yes Master, who actually mastered these versions. And then lately I've started working with the guys over. Thankfully, they do a fantastic job of taking care of all stuff. People like that.
absolutely, yeah. So that's some good information there for everyone out there trying to figure out what the hell to do for streaming services. Yeah, I'm always under the theory of getting someone else to master your stuff. But since budgets usually aren't there, and like most people can't afford to go to Sterling,
it's not as expensive, as you might think. It is more than a lot of people think, but
it's getting affordable because people are trying to play the game now.
I think also mastering is one of those things that because it's mastering, it's like the magic voodoo, and it's so esoteric and high level. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I feel like I barely understand half the stuff that they do. But so much of that, like and again, mastering can seem expensive. Getting somebody like Sterling, but at the same time, if you're doing music as a career, this is business, just like anything else, you got to invest a little bit. And it really, unless you're getting vinyl pressed, and then it gets really expensive. Vinyl's always expensive no matter what. There's kind of no way around that. But I've been a big fan of that. And again, especially we're here in Nashville. Sterling opened up shop here last year. It's been great having them in the community. But also, there's so many little independent mastering engineers all over town that just absolutely kill it and are way more affordable than you might think. So if you're working on a record and want to get it professionally mastered, take a look out there. It might surprise you how affordable and attainable it can be to have it really professionally mastered.
And there might be someone sitting in this room that kind of does that same thing. That's a small shop. So I do this thing called stem mastering. I don't know if you're familiar with that process, but I have a 16-channel passive handmade summing bus that I run all my stuff through, and I have really good D to A and A to D converters, and I kind of do things that way that allows there's like a hole in the market to where there's so many people that are mixing their own music and and want to do it themselves, but they kind of need that extra polish, or they know there's another level to it. So kind of creating this lane to where it's like, all right, well then just give me what you've done after you think it's good. I don't have to mix it because you already got the idea that you want, but you know that you can have a little help. So that's where I can add in gain structure stuff and harmonic distortion stuff and kind of get it to live a little bit better together, and then maximize it as best as you can. Now, like, I think I'm under the old school way of mastering. So if I had an album, I'm bringing that to a mastering engineer, right? Because yeah, the whole sequencing of the thing, the sonics from track to track, the loudness from track to track, to me that's mastering. Making something loud and frequency even, it's like mixing part 2 in a way of how I think of things, because I feel from my experience I could get it to be in that 3% window that you have to be in to be considered professionally mastered, right? So one of my mentors, Gene Grimaldi, out at Oasis Mastering in Burbank, spoke a lot on that, right? It's 95% the mix and like 5% the mastering, right? So it was always like, I went to him, I would send him a mix when I got done, and he'd tell me, turn her up or take a little 50 out of the bass or something, because then at that point he can maximize it easy, and he's making 0.3 dB at 11K and like these little things. I sat there and I've paid so much money and watched them do it so many times, and it's like they're really not doing much more than literally gaining it up, and then because they have such a high quality listening environment and they have $100,000 speakers, and 418s, and they listen this loud, but they can hear all the way accurately down to 20 hertz and really can make those little fine tune adjustments that add up, when you're making, a fully mastered like album, So yeah, I don't know. That's just a little geek talk about that stuff.
I think it's good too, whether you're working on the level of Sterling or whoever's mastering it. I like whoever it is having a separate engineer. It's kind of an extra layer of quality control as well. Because there's so much stuff, I've gotten caught up, especially if it's songs that I've written, demoed out, tracked, everything start to finish, which is how I tend to work. There can be little pops, there can be some RF in there that I didn't get cleaned out. This one, I think I went through, I go through with RX, the isotope RX, and clean up everything. Usually that's part of my mix prep process. So before the tracks that were put in here, went through everything, did all of that, cleaned everything up. But there's still stuff that you miss, and those mastering guys, just not having it run through another set of ears, and especially, like you said, the guys that are listening on these crazy ATC MCs or whatever. I don't know if people are using Dunetex and mastering. Surprised. Are they still using noise? Okay, yeah. And I know Bowers and Wilkins were getting used for a while. I know a lot of the big commercial mastering down are all on ATC. Wave going. Yeah, well, even Sterling, all their rooms in here, and I believe Edgewater, I believe are all ATC. Got the glass front, which is interesting, and they've got the huge ATC mains mounted up in them. Pretty bizarre room.
And I think touching on what you said about man, what the hell was I just say? Another perception of ears. I think that's the most important thing in the mastering process. Is if I produced a song from start to finish and I mixed the whole thing, I have no idea what the hell it sounds like anymore. It's just like, I guess it sounds right. So then it's nice to have another set of ears that does this every single day, be like, yeah, you nailed it, good, I didn't have to do much, and I fixed this and this and this, or they can be like, you just totally pooped it down the leg, so it's nice to have that feedback. So yeah, let's get to this lead vocal real quick and see what we got.
with a loving.
That's fine. Now it does.
But you will want to end the deal. You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I try so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. Now that chapter's through, so I'm meeting you. Your love is like diamonds, cold and hard to find, and I'm done chasing after beauty. You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I try so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. I still feel empty in the end. I still feel empty in the end. To love you, but I still feel empty in the end. You fucked my emotions with love and other potions. I thought this was real, but you will want to end the deal. You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I try so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. Now that chapter's through, so I'm meeting you. Your love is like diamonds, cold and hard to find, and I'm done after beauty. You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I try so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. I still feel empty in the end. I still feel empty in the end. Hard to love you, but I still feel empty. You fucked my emotions with love and other potions. But you will want to end the deal. You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I try so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. Your love is like diamonds, cold and hard to find, and I'm done chasing after beauty. You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I try so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. I still feel empty in the end. I still feel empty in the end.
Yeah.
Hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. You fucked my emotions with love and other potions. I thought this was real, but you will want to end the deal. You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I try so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. Now that chapter's through, so I'm meeting you. Your love is like diamonds, cold and hard to find, and I'm done chasing after beauty. You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I try so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. I still feel empty in the end. I still feel empty in the end. Hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. You fucked my emotions with love and other potions. I thought this was real, but you will want to end the deal. You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I try so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. Now that chapter's through, so I'm meeting you. Your love is like diamonds, cold and hard to find, and I'm done chasing after beauty. You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I try so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. I still feel empty in the end.
So that was an hour. I'll play from the top and see what we got.
I wanna give it one last try. Baby, you and I. If I tell you I still love you, will you still love me too? You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I tried so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. You fucked my emotions with love and other potions. I thought this was real, but you were one to end the deal. You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I tried so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. Now that chapter's through, so I'm me and you. Your love is like diamonds, cold and hard to find, and I'm done chasing after beauty. You tempt me with hello and kill me with goodbye. Baby, I try so hard to love you, but I still feel empty in the end. I still feel empty in the end. I still feel empty in the end.
Ethan, thank you very much for being a part of this. Everyone, my name is Falcone, and this was Falcone Fridays, live from Helping Our Music Evolve in East Nashville, Tennessee. Got to give a shout out to Shane, who I met at Vintage King last night at a NAMM event. He watches the stream, so I wanted to give him a shout out. And maybe, he's on there? You say what's up? What's up, Shane? Cool. We gave you a shout out, man. Thank you for watching and being a supporter of the channel and the stream. This is what we do it for. It was awesome feedback. It was great talking to you, and hope to see you on future streams. And come down to Helping Our Music Evolve and check out the spot if you haven't already. It's a great thing we got going on out here. So thanks a lot, guys. We will see you next week, and enjoy all the NAMM parties if you're here in town. It's going to be a good one. Was there anything else, Stephen? Yeah.
Real quick, just want to shout out, thank you all for having me today, and I want to thank everybody that helped make this track happen as well. Isaac, obviously the artist, Hayes Smith, Riley Bourne, Damon Atkins, Pete Abbott, Pat Bergeson, Michael Rhodes, Amy Brown over at Yes Master. Just everybody that helped make this track happen. Really appreciate it. Again, thanks for having me on. It's been a blast.